Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have a Reddit post. It got a lot of attention, and it's pretty much a player who has played the game for a very long time. As you can see, 24 in-game years, and pretty much he listed a list of changes, features, and stuff that he wished he had while playing. So I like how the format is. It's gotten a lot of awards. A lot of people are saying that these are excellent suggestions. So I decided to make a video. I'm gonna go through the what's called suggestions slash changes that he wants, and yeah, I'm gonna give my opinion of it. We're gonna check it out together. I'm gonna link this down below. If you like it, go upvote it, go join the conversation, whatever you would like to do. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So finished my in-game campaign that lasted over 24 in-game years. Here's a list of changes, features, etc. I was left wishing while playing. Just for background, I was playing on 1.4.1 still because I wanted to play with the AI values life, getting old and heroes must die mods, while added permadeath for the player, companions, lords, etc. I played as 5 different characters in my clan at different points, 3 men and 2 women. I was a vassal of Vlandia fairly early in the game, and Vlandia was snowballing, but then they melted away when the Khazaits came knocking. By the end of my campaign, when my last blood relative died, only the Southern Empire and Khazaits were left. As I've been playing on 1.4.0, some of this stuff may have already been patched in, but I have read the patch notes and removed anything that seems like it has. Okay, there it is. Alrighty, got some background, some lore, and let's go to the changes / features I'd like to see. First, reinforcements during a battle should arrive outside of the red boundary, then make their way into the battlefield. Too many times I've been attacking the enemy positioned at one point of the map, and then reinforcements appear behind my soldiers. I do agree. I think in battles they should spawn behind the red line, kind of like running in, same way they do run out, right? And also I think for sieges especially, what's funny is like there's a spawn point for reinforcements when it comes to sieges, castles, and towns that's like literally like 20 feet away from the gate doors, right? So what happens is you might run in there and all of a sudden 20 people spawn on you. I feel like those spawns should be the same place where they run back to, which is like the keep doors. I think they should be coming out of there, if that kind of makes sense, right? Next, we have his formations should have an option to target a specific troop type of the enemy. For example, if I want my archers to shoot the enemy archer formations instead of wasting their arrows on their shields. I agree. That would be kind of cool. Obviously, make your horses prioritize the archers. Your archers will prioritize whatever you want them to, and go from there. I can't say that word, but you get what I'm saying, right? I agree with this. They should have like a specific target, or at least like a focus, like focus on these characters. If other characters get in your way, take them down as well, but this is your main focus. I think, yeah, that makes sense. Use spears, use blunt, etc. commands to direct units with multiple weapons to use a specific one. This was a feature in Warband, either this or limit units to having only one single melee weapon. The way at least we'll know if we recruit spearmen, they'll be using their spears. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Obviously, you want to use blunt when you're like want to collect prisoners, and then use what do you call it? Obviously, spears or pierce if you want to just go for the kill, right? Makes sense. I don't know how many units have 2 different weapons, but I could see it. I could see it as a mod. I could see this one as a mod, right? These 2 right here, I could kind of see as a features. This one kind of like a mod. Next one, pull a rider from horse. It should be possible to pull a rider from their horse as a way to dehorse them. If a cavalry unit is moving at a very slow speed or is static, foot units should have this option. That'd be kind of cool, like a GTA, just pull them out the car but pull them off the horse. That'd be kind of cool, yeah. Again, I see it kind of as a mod, but I agree with this. Order clan parties on map. You should be able to order your clan parties to some degree. Simple commands such as patrol around X town, raid caravans, peasants, fight bandits. This is actually in the works. The devs have confirmed that they have something like this in the works. We talked about it in a dev talk video. I don't know when, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, but they have stated that they are working on this kind of commands for your clan parties / companions. Next, you should be able to pay a premium to have blacksmith forge a custom weapon for you instead of having to forge it yourself. How many kings were forging their own weapons? No, they had master smiths do it. Yeah, this would be kind of like an endgame feature. I think we need a lot more endgame features when it comes to a lot of different things. We've talked about it previously when it came to like caravans and trading stuff. I think the blacksmith needs more things like this. Yeah, I agree. Checkbox for smithing weapons to make the item unique. This would prevent it from appearing in-game as another item in the market/tournaments. What do you mean by checkbox? Like if you check it, it won't appear anywhere else, or if you uncheck it, it will appear everywhere else. Is that kind of what you mean? Yeah, because if you craft a lot of stuff, if you're doing a smithing playthrough, right, then you're gonna flood the market with all these different types of weapons that you've smithed before. So I kind of get it. Yeah. Noble tournaments. This would be like the existing tournaments, but instead of allowing all comers, it would require a certain level of renown or rank within a faction. It would be populated with lords and highly tiered units as fillers where needed. The rewards would be greater and the renown. Again, another end game kind of feature. I agree. Yes, this would be good. Encampment options. Similar to Warband, you should be able to set up a camp when on the campaign map. Setting up camp should take a short period of time, at which point you're vulnerable to attacks as you cannot move until the encampment has been broken down. The larger your party, the longer it takes to make/break camp. While in camp, passive XP is higher, healing is faster. Additional options for encampment battles would be great too. I've talked about this. There's no word from the developers about this, but yes, I think this should be in the game. Fort creation. Lords should be able to create small forts. Yep, kind of we talked about both of these things in a video. Making camps. What's it called? Like encampments, kind of like forts, mini forts and stuff like that. These forts will be very small and also provide rudimentary defense in the siege. Also allowed to act as some sort of hideouts for kingdoms or to garrison soldiers in. Forts require upkeep cost and a garrison, otherwise they fall into disrepair and disappear from the map. Agree. Hideout for players. Perhaps as a perk of the roguery skill, the player could create a hideout like the bandits have. They act like a stash, small garrison, in a dungeon. The player would want to place it in a place lords wouldn't be likely to find it. This would be a nice alternative for players who might enjoy the mercenary outlaw. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, obviously, what would be cool is if you put it in some place where the lords usually don't go, right? But then if a lord does go there and they do report it, then you're going to have a lot of parties go in there to take it down. That'd be actually pretty cool. Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of nooks and crannies on the map, so that would kind of work, yeah. Peace treaties. Similar to the treaties of Europa. I think that's Europa, right? The parties involved should be able to negotiate terms if the war was fairly even. If the war is exceptionally one-sided, the winning faction may be able to enforce demands more severe on the losing party. They are working on more diplomacy. We technically do have peace treaties now, but obviously it's usually the smaller pays the bigger, right? That's usually how it goes, depending on sizes, right? That's kind of what the amount is. But they are working more on this. Vassal Kingdoms. If a nation becomes too small or too weak, it should have the ability to become a tributary kingdom to a more powerful kingdom. However, there is a risk that vassals eventually goes to war with the overlord for independence. Now hear me out. 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 I talked about this on stream, but hear me out. So this will probably be a mod. I don't know if this will be kind of a big overhaul if this was done in the game. But I feel like how to make the minor factions actually worth something, because right now they're not worth much. Yeah, they're mercenaries, woohoo, woohoo, they change sides every 30 seconds. It's whatever, right? But here's the thing. I think that major kingdoms and minor factions, right? I feel like once your kingdoms gets beat down so much, it becomes a minor faction, right? And then once a minor faction grows to a certain amount, it becomes a major kingdom, right? And then they can start taking stuff. I think if we had this like change of position between a major faction and a minor faction, like, you know what I mean? Like if they get too small, they become a minor faction. If they get too big, they become a major faction after being a minor faction. I think that would be so cool. It would change a lot, and it would just make the game a lot more interesting, right? Because wouldn't it be cool if all of a sudden, let's say Vlandia fell and the Hidden Hand somehow popped out of nowhere and now they have 4 or 5 settlements? I think that'd be very, very cool, and I don't know if it will be a mod later on or something like that, but I think that would be amazing. Very dynamic gameplay there. But yeah. Slight castle. If you conquer an enemy castle but don't want to take the time or give up men to garrison it, you should be able to slight the castle. This destroy some of the buildings, maybe take the wall down a level, and also make it unusable for a short period of time. Okay, this will allow you to continue your offensive without taking control of the castle, and I'm not worried the enemy immediately. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, like pretty much like render it useless so nobody can really take it and just keep on the raid. Yeah, I agree with this. I agree with this. That's actually very smart. I've not thought about that. Yeah, makes sense. Disease mechanic. Disease could pop up in towns randomly and spread around. This would reduce prosperity, hurts, and the number of available recruits. An additional building such as a hospital could reduce the impact of the disease on the town/villages. Oh yeah, and for this one, when he said knock down a level, I think like an upgrade level. Like you can knock down specific upgrades and make the what's called the town or the castle weaker by doing that, right? The disease mechanic, yeah, they are adding a rebellion mechanic that's coming very soon, but more mechanics are always good. I agree with this. There were a lot of diseases in the medieval age, you know what I'm saying, and they were very, very drastic. So I see it. Feasts, hunts, tournaments. The players should be able to hold feasts, hunts, and tournaments in their castle/town. This would be a nice way to gather lords and their families for easier charm/courting. Hunts could involve just riding through the woodlands looking for a deer or something to shoot with other lords. This one, the one who brings it down, getting bonuses in renown and relation. Oh, it's a cool little mini game. Yeah, kind of like whoever shoots the rabbit first. It's like a mini game you see in a lot of games. Yeah, I agree with this. And obviously the feasts. I feel like once that comes out in an update, I feel like it will come out in an update, but once it does, I feel like people are gonna like rejoice, you know. But next one. Hear grievances. While in a town castle, you should have the option to hold court and hear grievances. Quest givers should come to you with various quests/issues, and you make decisions on which, on those which affect their relation, prosperity, tax income, etc. That's cool. Yeah, you would be sitting in the chair, and villager after villager would come up to you and obviously ask you like, hey, I need this, or can you do that? You know that. Yeah, very cool and very realistic. Yes. I agree. Some very good, obviously the slight castle, very, very good. This, yeah. Detachments. When you've got a huge army or a large party and you spawn an enemy lord riding around with his 50 or so men, you have no hope of catching them. You should be able to quickly dispatch a detachment of a number of your soldiers to chase the enemy down. This will allow your army to catch up and hopefully engage the enemy with the bulk of your forces. Smart. And yeah. I agree. Maybe like the detachment has to be horsemen or something like that, right? They have to be like riders or something that could catch up, kind of make it a little bit balanced, right? I agree with this. Yes, and you should know, and you should also only detach once. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to see like a huge army just devouring everything. Like detach 7 times. Like an AI lord, obviously, they might just be running around with a huge army, and then they just detach there, detach there, detach there. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. Like, you know, you don't want a huge army just swallowing everything. Maybe like one detachment at most to attack a specific lord, not to attack multiple lords, if that kind of makes sense, right? I agree with this. Inter-faction clan feud/wars. We have talked about this before. Yes, we definitely do need that because obviously not everybody got along, regardless if they were part of the same, kingdom. They had stuff that went on, and then obviously you need ways to prevent it, as he states right here. But instead of allowing you just raiding villages or caravans, yeah, so obviously, they wouldn't really just take someone else's stuff, but they would do stuff like raid villages, caravans, and all that stuff. And obviously, you as the ruler need to prevent it in some way before it gets worse. Revolt/unrest, they are working on it. They have confirmed they are working on the rebellion aspect of the game or concept, right? This will also help with snowballing more than anything. When a kingdom grows very large, it begins taking land not of its culture. This will be a penalty similar to the Total War games. Okay. The unrest level would rise if the garrison was small, prosperity was low, no governor has cruel trait, or governor wasn't at the same culture. We need more stuff that incorporates traits. I agree, and culture. A chance would exist for there to be a revolt and a very large party of enemy spawns in the countryside under the kingdom which they claim to represent. If the kingdom they would typically represent no longer exists, perhaps this could revive it even better, generate an entirely new kingdom, and perhaps name it based on the towns has cash flow ranging from. Yes, yes, you see that? I want there to be a way to create where AI creates new kingdoms, because like when you look at the kingdom list, right, and you have your own kingdom, you see obviously the same old guys, right, and then you see just your kingdom that you created. I want other AI to just be like, you know what? Screw this kingdom. All these guys like me. Let's all join together and create our own kingdom. I think like over time, new kingdoms should pop up. Whether it's the minor factions getting upgraded or it's just like a lot of clans leaving a kingdom altogether. Like let's say, like you know how obviously clans, they'll leave a kingdom if they're not happy with it, right? Let's say the Khazaits take over a big part of the map and but they're not listening. But okay, wait, let me rephrase this. So let's say the Khazaits take a big portion of the map, and they took all of Azerai's land, and the Azerai clans are just like, they joined them, but they're like, hey, he doesn't really follow our advice when it comes to giving fiefs to who, the laws we propose, he opposes them. So they all gather together and just pretty much, you know what I mean, create their own kingdom and pretty much take the Azerai culture back, but name it differently because obviously it's not the Azerai anymore, it's something else. I think that would be very, 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 very cool. Because it's not fun watching a kingdom that's already been dead for 20 years still be kind of active and hire mercenaries for no reason while they're riding around with 3 people, if that kind of makes sense, right? And obviously that would help with snowballing too. Like let's say the Khazaits have 20 settlements. All of a sudden, 5 settlements in pretty much a revolt of clans because the clans don't like the leader, make their own kingdom, and they take the 5 settlements with them. The Khazaits are now down to 15. You know what I mean? Like, stuff of that nature. I think that'd be very, very cool. Civil War, the powerful lords of the realm vote to dispose the current king, in which, yeah, and this kind of plays with it too. Civil War, yeah, all of this plays together. I agree, and I agree again. Athletics. Athletics is fun for the player, but having a bunch of troops with athletics rating wildly across the board will cause battles and reinforcements of battles to look like a line of ants marching to the front line. The difference in speed for units should be more impacted by the weight of their armor. Yeah, the weight of armor does not really impact anything right now in the game. I feel like it should have a bigger impact, right? I think the recruit level troops should have athletics of 40 and the highest level troops are athletics of 60. This will make troops stick together more even when acting independent, as a higher tier troop are going to have more armor to balance it out. True. And I feel like if they're fully armored, they shouldn't be running faster than a recruit. You know what I'm saying? Because a recruit has nothing on. So he should, in turn, even if he's not completely, you know, been through war for so long, you should still kind of run faster than a guy who's wearing like 100 pounds of armor, if that kind of makes sense. And villages as fiefs. Warband allowed individual villages to be awarded as fiefs. This should be possible in Bannerlord 2. The devs have stated that they don't want to do that. That Bannerlord has a new system where villages are connected to castles and towns, and the fact is that's just how they want it, right? And with their current system, they can't really change it to this. So unfortunately, this ain't happening. But okay, long wish list, but playing these are just some things that came to mind. Overall, very good, very good. And he has a forum post on the Tail Worlds forum. Go for him, go for him. I think this is a and he's a master on here. Man, he goes crazy on here. What does he got over here? 1,000 messages. Dang. An actual, what's it called? Going crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? What I want you to say? A pillar of the community out here. You know what I mean? A long time. Joined 2008. Look at that. Amazing. Very good list. If you do enjoy, like I said before, this will be linked down below. Go upvote it. Go join the conversation. I liked it. Let me go upvote it. And yeah. I agreed with most of the stuff he said, to be honest with you. I think a lot of this stuff is very good, whether it's added in mods or by the devs. I think either way, it is good for me. Let me know your thoughts, your concerns, questions, all of that. And like always, stay safe.